Hey, Stoic warrior. We live in a world where people are always trying to prove something. They prove they're right. They prove they're worthy. They explain, over-explain, even beg just to be seen. But Stoics don't do that. Stoics don't chase attention. Stoics don't seek validation. A Stoic doesn't justify themselves to the world because they know silence is power. Most people, when hurt, rejected, or misunderstood, rush to fix things, chasing those who've already chosen not to listen. That's weakness dressed as courage. You call someone, they don't answer. You text again. You send another message, pouring your heart into a long paragraph, hoping they'll see your worth. But the truth is, the more you explain, the more you beg, the more power you lose. That's not Stoic. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus mastered the strength of silence. It's not that they don't care, but they understand this. The more you cling to what's beyond your control, the less control you have. Epictetus said it best: chasing others' approval or understanding hands them your power. You're saying your peace depends on their reaction. That's not peace, it's a prison. True strength is walking away without a word when someone disrespects you, not out of pride, but because your dignity doesn't need to shout. It doesn't chase. It doesn't explain. It quietly steps back. That silence isn't empty. It's discipline. It's self-respect. It's inner strength, saying, I don't need your validation to know my worth. And this silence unsettles others. When you don't react, they lose the control they thought they had over you. Today, let's explore the kind of silence that builds strength, not weakness. The silence that makes others wonder what's changed. The silence that lets your absence speak louder than any text you could send. We'll unpack 6 profound truths, 6 reasons why silence is a Stoic superpower, and why those who practice it never chase, beg, or explain themselves. If you're tired of giving too much, if you've been misunderstood, if you've chased someone who walked away, this is your moment to shift. Let this talk be the reminder you didn't know you needed. Before we dive into the first point, do me a small favor. Like this video if it's already resonating with you. Drop your thoughts and affirmations in the comments as you watch. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe for more Stoic growth content. Most importantly, don't skip any part of this video. One idea, one truth, could change how you live forever. I want you to leave this affirmation in the comments. My silence is my strength. First, silence makes them feel your absence, not just hear your words. Have you ever noticed this paradox? When you stop explaining, stop chasing, people start to reflect. That's the power of silence. It doesn't push, it pulls. Think back to the last time you were hurt. Maybe someone ignored you, disrespected you, or turned their back. Your instinct screamed to say something, to fight back, to defend your worth. But the truth is, the more you speak, the less they hear. The more you chase, the further they run. The more you explain, the less your words matter. But when you choose silence, they suddenly feel your absence more than your presence ever did. Those who can't grasp your silence likely won't value your words. Elbert Hubbard said it well. Stoics knew this centuries ago. Silence unsettles in ways noise never can. When you stay quiet with those expecting you to beg, when you withdraw instead of react, you force them to face something deeper, their own actions. Silence is a mirror. It says, I see how you treated me, but I respect myself too much to explain why it's wrong. This silence isn't ego, it's clarity. You know if they cared, they'd ask. If they respected you, they'd reach out. If they were emotionally mature, they wouldn't need a long text to see your worth. So you choose silence. In that silence, you reclaim the power you once gave away. You stop wasting energy trying to be understood by those who don't even understand themselves. You stop healing with words, because some wounds mend better in quiet. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Your silence will provoke them. It will confuse them. They'll wonder, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't she responding? Has she stopped caring? That's when the power shifts. Because silence speaks a truth. They can't ignore you. Don't owe them an explanation anymore. Second, silence lets you hear the truth more clearly. The world is loud, but silence helps you listen not to others, but to yourself. When you're hurt, betrayed, or confused, most people run to others for advice, validation, or a quick emotional fix. They call friends, scroll social media endlessly, or confront the one who hurt them, hoping the right conversation will heal the wrong. But Stoics do something different. A Stoic stays silent, not because they don't feel pain, but because they know the real answers don't come from noise, but from reflection. Marcus Aurelius said, if you're troubled by something external, the pain isn't from the thing itself, but from how you judge it. And you can change that judgment any time. When you're truly silent, your mind finds calm. In that calm, truth rises. You start hearing things like, they never truly respected me, I just didn't want to admit it. I'm not angry they left, I'm angry I stayed too long. I don't need closure, I need peace. These truths don't come from texts or talks. They come in the quiet moments when you stop explaining and start listening. Silence creates space to separate your emotions from your worth. When you're hurt, emotions scream, chase them, explain yourself, prove your value. But in silence, your worth whispers, preserve your dignity, protect your peace, let go. That's why Stoics don't react rashly. They don't decide in anger. They embrace a sacred pause, a moment of stillness before the storm. Society tells you the opposite. Speak your mind. Tell them how you feel. Don't let anyone disrespect you. But here's what most misrespect isn't won by shouting louder. It's earned by staying calm in silence while others get lost in noise. The quieter you are, the more people reveal their true selves. You don't need to ask, do they care? Their actions will answer. You don't need to beg for clarity. Truth emerges in your silence. Most importantly, you stop reacting on impulse and start responding to life with wisdom. Silence isn't passive, it's focused. It's intentional. It's the gateway to inner wisdom few dare to cross. So, when you're overwhelmed, when emotions flood in, don't act rashly. Pause. The answers aren't out there, they're within you, and you'll hear them in silence. Third, begging for closure is a betrayal of yourself. Let's face a hard truth. Begging for closure often brings more pain, not peace. We all crave it, that final explanation, the honest talk, the ending that feels complete. But here's the raw reality. If someone truly cared, you wouldn't need to beg for closure. They'd give it to you with respect. If they don't, your silence becomes the answer. Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy. Live it. This might not seem to fit at first, but here's how it applies when you stop chasing closure and start living your values. You no longer need others to validate your pain. Your pain is real, but needing them to explain why they hurt you hands them control over your healing. It's a cycle. They hurt you. You demand answers. They respond with coldness or avoidance, and you feel worse. The loop repeats until you realize closure isn't theirs to give. It's yours to take when you stay silent and walk away. It's tempting to think, if I tell them how I feel, if I explain my side, if I get that final talk, it'll fix everything. But what's really happening? You're pleading with someone who's already chosen to hurt you. You're explaining to someone who's made up their mind. You're wasting energy, hoping they'll mend your broken expectations. That's not closure. It's self-abandonment. Stoics know emotions can cloud judgment, especially when ego creeps in. You want to be seen as good, understood, or validated. You want them to finally get it. But chasing that betrays your growth. True closure comes when you see their actions as all they can offer. You accept that no explanation will make them respect, love, or be more honest. You stop waiting for a conversation that won't happen. In that acceptance, your power returns. The one who hurt you doesn't need to see your worth. You do. The one who left doesn't need a goodbye. You can say it without words. Those who vanish don't need a second chance. Your silence is their answer. So stop drafting unsent letters. Stop rehearsing the perfect speech. Stop seeking closure from those who were never open. Be silent. Let that silence be the space where your self-respect breathes again. Fourth, silence reveals what words try to hide. When you go quiet, something powerful happens. Masks fall. Words can be beautiful, but they can also lie. People say what sounds right, what they think you want to hear. They use explanations, excuses, apologies. But silence can't lie. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "What you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you say." Stoics lived this truth deeply. They didn't judge people by apologies, but by habits. The best way to see those habits: stop talking and watch. Silence isn't passive, it's a sharp lens for truth. When you stop explaining yourself, you let others reveal who they really are. Trust me, they will. Those who respect you will notice your presence and reach out with sincerity. Those who used you will fade away because they never valued you to begin with. Those who manipulated you will get angry or confused, not because you did wrong, but because they lost control. This is what most miss. Words can weave illusions, but silence lays bare the truth. You don't need to confront or challenge anyone. Just step back and observe. See who reaches out when you're quiet. Notice who vanishes when you stop giving. Watch who gets angry when they can't provoke you. That's the truth, brutal but necessary. Silence doesn't just reveal others, it protects you. It stops you from fueling their illusions. It ends your role in their emotional games. It frees you from pretending their words matter more than their actions. In that silence, you gain clarity. You no longer need their reasons for treating you poorly. Their silence, distance, and behavior say it all. You start trusting patterns over promises, actions over apologies, reality over sweet talk. That's the Stoic way, not cold, but clear, not indifferent, but awake, not heartless, but in command of your emotions. Next time someone tries to talk their way back into your life, don't rush to respond. Stay silent and let the truth speak without words. Fifth, refusing to explain yourself is the ultimate act of confidence. Let's be real. Being misunderstood hurts. You want to defend yourself, to clarify, you're not who they think you are. You want to say, that's not me. But a Stoic doesn't chase others' understanding, they find it within. Why? Because explaining to those who've already judged you isn't confidence, it's fear of being misjudged. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't waste the rest of your life worrying about others' opinions, unless it's for the common good." Every time you try to convince someone of your worth, goodness, or loyalty, you're spending precious time and energy on their judgment. That's not strength, it's insecurity. A Stoic who doesn't explain isn't arrogant, they're at peace. They know their intentions are clear, their actions consistent. Their worth doesn't need defending to those unwilling to see it. This level of detachment isn't easy. You'll be called cold, selfish, or distant. You might lose people you once held close. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit losing those who never truly saw you isn't a loss, it's alignment. Most people don't want to understand you. They want to control how others perceive you. When your silence shatters that illusion, they'll get upset. Not because you hurt them, but because you stopped playing their game. When you stop explaining, you lead with your energy. You don't justify your distance. You don't defend your peace. You just act. And those who truly belong in your life will understand your silence without needing a script. That kind of energy is rare. It unsettles manipulators, frustrates users, but earns deep respect from those who stay. Sixth, letting go in silence is the lesson they need. There's unmatched power in choosing to walk away, not in anger, not with drama, but with quiet release. You don't slam the door or send a final emotional text. You simply step back. In that silence, you teach a lesson words can't convey. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This reminds us that pain grows when we replay scenarios in our minds. When you stop responding, they're left with their thoughts, their guilt, their memories of how you treated them, and the echo of your absence. Your letting go says, "I don't need to prove myself to you anymore." Your silence declares, "I won't linger where I'm not valued. I choose peace over connection." Most people can't handle this energy. They're used to others reacting, pleading, or fighting for closure. But when you choose silence, you step out of their emotional games. They expect you to chase, to argue, to stay. They expect you to come back, but you don't. And that scares them more than any confrontation, because they realize they've lost control over your energy. They no longer have the upper hand. They didn't expect you to truly walk away. That's when the lesson begins. People don't learn from words. They learn from distance. They don't change when you shout, "Respect me." They might change when your absence forces them to see what they've lost. And if they don't, that's okay. The lesson isn't just for them, it's for you. You learn that peace doesn't need anyone's permission. You realize not everyone deserves your explanation. Sometimes, silence isn't just strength, it's healing. When you detach in silence, you free yourself from toxic cycles. You stop bleeding for those who can't grasp your pain. You stop explaining storms to people who only live in calm. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care too much about your soul to keep it in a neglected space. That's why Stoics don't react impulsively. They don't chase justice or seek validation. They let silence speak for them. You don't need to yell, "I'm done." You just need to be done. That's true strength. The kind of silence that makes those who thought they controlled you tremble. So don't fear stepping away. Be silent and let them sit in the void where your voice once was. If you've made it this far, you're feeling it, a quiet shift inside you. A gentle awakening. A truth you always knew but may have forgotten along the way. You don't need to chase, beg, or explain to be worthy. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to prove your point to be understood. You don't need to trade your peace to keep others comfortable. That's the heart of Stoicism, not coldness, but clarity. It's not about cutting off love, it's about cutting off chaos. Stoics teach us something profound. Silence isn't weakness, it's mastery. It's refusing to waste energy on things beneath you. It's the confidence that your presence has value, even when you're no longer there. There will be moments when emotions surge, when you'll feel the urge to explain, argue, or prove yourself. But in those moments, remember this: your silence may not win the argument, but it will bring you back to yourself. Each time you choose not to react, you build inner peace. Every time you quietly step back, you strengthen your self-worth. Every time you hold your dignity, you build unshakable strength. If there's one thing to carry from this video, it's this: let silence be your final word, not from ego or resentment, but from deep, unwavering self-respect. Thank you for watching. If this video struck a chord, hit the like button now. Share it with someone ready to grow. Drop your affirmations in the comments. Your voice matters here. And subscribe for weekly Stoic truths. I want you to leave this final affirmation in the comments. My silence is my final word and my greatest strength. When emotions flare, you'll feel the pull to explain or fight for your worth. But pause and remember, silence doesn't win debates. It wins you back. It builds a fortress of peace within you, unshaken by others' noise or neglect. Each choice to stay silent is a brick in that fortress, a step toward a life where your value doesn't need defending. It's not about shutting others out. It's about letting your inner strength speak. Stoicism teaches us to choose clarity over chaos, presence over pleading. Your silence is a powerful statement, not of absence, but of authority over your own peace. Like and share this video to spread this wisdom. Comment your thoughts below. And subscribe to keep growing with Stoic principles. Let your final affirmation echo: my silence is my strength, my peace, my power.